All right, everyone, camera one rolling. Okay, hold on. How does this camera roll? It's not like
Oh, you have to hit the,
up here, right?
yeah.
Start and stop. Camera two rolling. Everyone quiet, please. Action.
Right, so this is my book, and for the cover, I just decided to go with something really basic, minimalistic, simple. So 19 words, 19 works. It's a combination of Helvetica Bold and Helvetica Light, and let's see here. So just following the same pattern and whatnot, and it's made from the paper that I've been using, which is a cotton-based paper, but it's been double layered and spray glued together, so it gives some extra rigidity and whatnot. And my chapter dividers are a little different. They're actually made from heavier photo paper. Let me turn to one of them. Here we go. So they're made from photo paper, but they follow the same formatting and design and whatnot. And I'll come to my signature in just a second, but here's a image of the binding. And basically, I decided to go with the, the hacksaw method, if you would like to call it, and I sawed the holes. I used the saw to make the holes to speed up the process, and then I did the binding for it that way. And then, okay, onto my signature. So my word was technology, and my interpretation of that word was a passport, in a sense. And I wanted to focus on the idea that, you know, on this idea of like counterfeit technologies and kind of also the relationship of how technology kind of affects printing, and I felt like a passport or something like a near future passport would be a good fit for something related to that topic. So actually my book is a little different. It actually comes in two components. There's the holder of the passport, and then there's the passport itself. So I'll talk about the passport in a second. I'll just briefly cover the holder here. And the holder is basically just a cutout signature, and it basically holds the passport, and then there are basically patterns similar to you'd see in like counterfeit things like money or other government documents, very bureaucratic type things. And over here is just a little disclaimer saying that this actually isn't a real passport in a sense. So that's basically the signature in a nutshell. And then the more important thing is the passport itself. So this was more of an experiment for me in a sense that because it was kind of experimenting with a melding of two different materials. In this case, basically plastics or transparencies in this case, and just regular paper in a sense. So I wanted to focus on the idea of near future here. So the idea was focusing on something like a European Federation or something that you would see envisioning would happen in the future because, you know, the European Union and whatnot. So the passport is basically layers of glued together images that basically create a multiple image. So this is the cover, and basically includes all the standard things you'd see in a passport, and it's made from a transparency foreground and a regular paper background that's been spray mounted together. If you turn to the first page, there's the front cover, and then a disclaimer. It's the first pages and the rear pages are all in transparency, so they're actually all see-through in a sense. So this is the first disclaimer page that talks about the passport itself and what it is. And in this case, it's a European Federation passport, so it's like a US passport, but it's for specifically the Netherlands in a sense. If we turn to the following page, this is the actual ID page, so it has a picture of the individual on the front. It has other things you'd see, which are the passport ID number, the name, and the other information. And then if you turn it over here, it has a bunch of other identifiers that would help identify the passport and the person's identity. Now, the idea of it being a near future thing, it's hard to see in here, but the idea was to try to envision something like e-paper or electronic paper in a sense that could be malleable but digital in a sense. So because this is print and we don't have that kind of technology, everything's all like freeze-framed in a sense. Moving on to the next page is just more information about, more information like contact information. You can actually see like the quote-unquote technologies that would be embedded here, so you see some of the circuitry. And then the Visa covers, and the Visa pages where you use to get your stamps are regular paper. And I want to focus on the various major icons that you would see on the European continent. So you got various landmarks and other technological feats. Some German rail technology and whatnot, kind of talking about the past in a sense. So it's kind of creating also kind of like a cultural and history behind it, which is something I want to do, but still kind of in the reference of technology. And on this page we have the Large Hadron Collider from CERN, so keeping on that theme. And then following that we have the center spread, which is where the binding is, and also where the center spread kind of just is for the general, like the European Union flag and the continent and some of the iconography related to that. And moving on to the next page. This page is focusing more on modern technology, and in this case it's the French TGV in a sense. And following that we have the Brandenburg Gate, some more ideas on cultural aspects of that. And then moving on to the back here, we're going back to the transparencies. We have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This one is related to the Netherlands, and then lastly we have we have a couple more, the Louvre and the Mona Lisa, along with the Atomium in Brussels. And then lastly we have a back page which talks about travel information and where to get that information, and a following QR code that leads you to an actual website and the back cover. And then that's it. And that goes into this book. And that's it.
Where does the QR code go?
It goes to the European Union Travel Information website.
Okay.
It's so much better singing like this than like
Yeah.
I was like